Good evening. I'm Paul. This is Dave. I am a beer enthusiast, and Dave here is a certified beer judge and a home brewer. And this evening we are bringing you a beer we've kind of neglected as far as a style, I feel. It is a Pilsner. This evening's Pilsner comes to us from Pipeworks Brewing Company in Chicago, Illinois.
Hey, go Chi-Town.
And one thing I will say I kind of disappointed about, so if y'all at Pipeworks see this video for whatever reason, would appreciate more info on your website as far as your beers.
Yeah, that was a
kind
little
of
surprising that when we have been doing this for a little while, we can find really good information on the beers on their website. The website was more about trying to how to pick up beer from them.
Yeah, more
or
or
how
less.
to go work for their brewery. So it would be nice if they did have a little bit of breakdown on the beers.
I agree. Now, I was shopping for the beer because I normally do, and one of the things that actually sold me on this is I've been noticing a trend, and that is cans that don't look or bottles that don't look like they've spent a lot of money making it look good normally have good product inside. So I'm really hoping that a very basic looking can with some unicorns on the side definitely helps to...
I thought it was because of the unicorn.
Well, I like unicorns. I can admit it. So,
I
anyway.
think it's made with unicorn tears, actually.
Oh, well, that's sad.
That's the water they used.
But anyway, so it's a Czech style Pilsner, and I'll let Dave tell you more about that.
Yeah, so Pilsner, this is a light style. Obviously, one of the big examples that most people think of, Pilsner, they think of kind of like some of these light lagers that we have, like Budweiser or something along those lines. Realistically, those kind of fall into a different category in that a true Pilsner is going to have a little bit more character to it. One of the there's usually two different styles. There's German Pilsners, there's Czech Pilsners. And the reason why there's a Czech Pilsner is because of a Pilsner Urquell. And the Pilsner Urquell is just a traditional beer in the area, which is how a lot of beer styles got created out of that. And they're light beers, so they're lighter in color, lighter in body, typically lighter in alcohol. So
this
they fall into
a session beer.
More of a session beer. So something that back in the day we probably would have drank at lunch and after breakfast. And
well, this also has a 4.9 APV, which is on the lighter side for most of the stuff we've done.
Yeah, on the lighter side, but then again, probably still a step up from, the Coors Light, Budweiser kind of type styles of beers. So I'm excited about it because it's going to allow us to kind of critically break down a style that a lot of craft brewers probably don't lean towards, which can be actually quite enjoyable.
Yeah,
actually very refreshing.
I've had some really good Pilsners, and that's part of why I wanted to do this, because I was like, I haven't had a Pilsner in a while. I want to revisit that. So without further ado, I guess, let's get to cracking, huh?
All right. I think I have some shoes made out of unicorn leather.
The Pilsner is brewed with lager yeast, isn't it?
Yeah, so Pilsner, there's an actual malt called like a Pilsner malt, which is a light colored malt. And it's a lager, so it's cold fermented. So the lager yeast like it really cold. You can see it's kind of got a little bit of cloudiness to it, which immediately just tells me it's good.
I don't know. We had one or two crystal clear beers that was pretty good.
Well, I'm not saying that that's a bad sign. I'm just saying that usually means that there's yeast suspended in there. They may not have actually filtered it. Filtering is not always a real positive thing that you do to beer. We all like to have real clear beers because we'll settle them. And I think that's a little bit of a attachment to process. If you look at a lot of people who are brewers, they get into the process. I do it for this long, for this many minutes, and then I do this, and I do this, and it gives me this result, and that's fantastic. When it comes to taste, usually it has more suspension and it creates more character.
Well, I will say it's a citrusy smelling beer. It's about all I'm getting out of it, honestly.
A little bit of that, yeah.
There's a lot of citrus to it.
Wonder if that's from maybe the hops that they're using. A little bit of the malt.
And there goes the dog. Hey, guess what we have done? Well, I have done, is I forgot to clip on my mic. This might be a problem for Dave in editing. Hopefully not.
I'm tasting a lot of the type of characteristics that you'll find in a lot of lighter beers.
It definitely has a distinct Pilsner flavor.
Yep, it's light, it's airy. It does have kind of a light breadiness to it. So not like something that is super malty will have this almost like intense breadiness and this intense type flavors, but it's light. It's represented in it, which is a lot of what the style is.
It's not an unpleasant beer. Well, your dog is cranked up this evening.
A little bit of hoppiness to it.
Yeah, there is the hop bite towards the end.
Yep.
It's
you kind of
not,
mix it around your mouth. You'll pick up some of that bitterness.
It's not strong. It's just there. Woden. See, this is what happens when you have animals, boys and girls. They just make no end of noise, and now they're demanding pets.
Yeah. I like it when you try to find the bitterness. You know, that it's not so overly bitter that it's like smacking you in the face, but you're really kind of searching for it to kind of look for that hop profile.
To me, this tastes a lot like a Coors with a bit of a better flavor and a stronger flavor.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's what it's really reminiscent
Not like
of.
a Coors Light, but actually
No,
like
a Coors.
An actual Coors, yeah.
It's a fairly decent beer.
Yeah. See if the
Although I did chill these pretty harshly using the wrap it in a wet paper towel trick and throw it in the freezer. So, because
yeah, and it's pretty cold. So I'm trying to warm it up a little bit just to see if I can get a little bit more of the aroma to it. It doesn't have a lot of aroma to me.
no, it was mild.
Yeah.
When I was smelling, I mean, the citrus was just kind of there, but it does have some nice lacing on the glass as far as the head's concerned. It does have a nice head.
Yeah, it's really easy to drink. It's well balanced. It's not overly bitter. It has a little bit of bitterness to it, but just enough to balance out the sweetness. It has a light, crisp, slight breadiness.
Yes, slight breadiness. Yeah, I just keep thinking it's like a Coors, but a good tasting one. I will say the lacing on the glass is actually quite impressive. And I will say that the head is pretty nice, and it does have a good smell. This definitely would be going down a lot better if it were hot outside right now. But we're at the tail end of, or halfway through February? Yeah, we're halfway through February.
Yeah, no, it was 85 degrees today in Arizona. So if you're in a really cold area and you don't like the cold, Arizona is a great place to come because you'll find 80-degree weather in February.
It's been cold for me. It's been awful. So what do you think as far as rating this stuff?
So presentation, I really like the way that the head's been lacing on that. I thought it had a pretty decent head for a light lager type style beer. So being a Pilsner, I'd expect a little bit of that. I think it kind of delivered on that. It didn't have that kind of smell that I was looking for. So I got to kind of mark it down a little bit. I wish that, and it could just be because
like
it's
the
cold.
smell.
But even when I compare it to like some big commercial examples, a lot of times they'll have that kind of either a yeasty or bready smell, or they'll find a way to work some hops into it. I'm gonna back off a little bit on that when it comes to just the presentation. I think that there's some really good strengths to it, but I'm gonna probably go to 6. I actually like the cloudiness. I probably wouldn't take away because of the cloudiness. Might give you extra credit if it's really clean, but I usually don't mind that at all.
I think it's a really good looking beer in the glass. I think it smells good. I feel that the head on it's really nice. Honestly, I wasn't expecting the head we got out of it when we poured, especially when it's cold. Normally you get more of a head when the beer is a bit warmer, but we might have chilled this one too much. So I'm going to go with a 7.5 as far as my presentation is concerned on it, because I think it's honestly it looks very appealing. Just sitting in the glass. That looks like it's going to be a good beer.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I can see that. I'm probably going to go maybe like a 7 on the taste. I think they've done a really good job for a Pilsner. Pilsner's not generally probably one of my more favorite beers.
Yeah, I would agree.
When it goes down to lagers, I'm a big fan of lagers, but I do kind of lean more towards like Vienna lagers, Oktoberfest, Box, those kind of beers. Those are usually a little bit more my fancy, but I think it's good. I enjoy it. I think for a summer, warm outside, this would be a great beer to have. That would be a step up and above. And the very fact that it's got a unicorn on its can, people be drinking a Budweiser, you'd be like, yeah, do you have a unicorn? No, you don't. So,
right. Anyway, as far as the taste is concerned, I think it's a well put together beer, and objectively, I would probably also give the taste a 7.
Yeah, I think that's fair enough. Overall impression, I'm probably just going to split the two. I'm going to say a 6.5. It's not super like, oh my gosh, this is just so amazing because of this or that. I think that if you're wanting a beer, this would be a great step up from, some of your traditional standards. There's also a lot more to it. I think that, like, when I look at my personal preference standpoint, if it's hot out and I'm really kind of in the mood of a light beer, I'm probably going to lean towards like a Belgian white. I'm going to lean towards something along the lines of a wheat beer, like maybe a Hefeweizen or something along those lines, where I'm looking for light and airy, but also with some character to it.
Yeah, no, I would put my overall impression about a 7 as well.
Yeah. So I think my personal preference, I'm probably gonna put it down at I'm gonna probably say a 5. If I had the choice between this and maybe an IPA, even being not a huge IPA fan, I might lean towards an IPA, unless for whatever reason I felt like maybe if I just had another IPA, I would probably lean towards something along these lines. But now it's just not my style.
Yeah, my personal preference, I would say, would I turn this down if somebody handed it to me? No. Would I turn down like a Coors if somebody handed it to me? There's a 50-50 chance.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's much better than a commercial.
Yeah, but if you like Coors, I just want to preface, if you like Coors or if you like your Budweisers or whatever, this beer might be something you'll really enjoy. Maybe not like all the time, but you'll definitely enjoy a 6-pack of it. But as far as my personal preference is concerned, I don't care much for the style, and I don't care much for the flavor. So I'm going to be at a 4 on this one.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I can see that. I think it's good. I'm certainly going to enjoy drinking them. But I think if, given lots of different choices, especially in a craft beer environment, I don't think it's a problem with what they've made. I think they've made a great Pilsner. I think that just the style itself just kind of leans itself in a way where
it's not either of our palates.
So many other options out there. And if I was given a whole bunch of options.
Yeah, it's just a matter of this just doesn't suit my palate.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe if I wanted to go dump some salt on it, it might change some things, but we're not here drinking me salting beer. We're here talking about.
That's a really good idea. Maybe I should try throwing some salt in it.
Us drinking the beer as it comes. I'd be curious
to see how that would go. There's a lot of really unique things that you'll find in different kind of beers. It's real common in like Germany with the Hefeweizen that they literally used to serve them with a copper like ingot on the bar, and you would shave off a little bit of the copper into the beers because they found that it was pleasant
flavor.
Yeah, I don't know if we still do that. I mean, copper's pretty inert, but it just seems kind of strange.
Yeah,
maybe a little salt in this would kind of pick it up a little bit.
Well, I know there are people who are all about dumping salt in their beer, and I know salt helps Budweiser a lot, and I know salt helps Coors a lot, and I know that one of the things that actually, if I have a choice between those two and a PBR, I go to the PBR because it tastes like it's already been salted to me. So,
Definitely, there's some.
but that being said, we're going to finish the beers, so.
Yeah, I mean, there's a
And we're going to
whole
kill the other two that we've got.
and a whole nother thing that you find with a lot of light beers, especially when you get into like beer judging. And we won't get too much into it, but there's some like almost like a cream corn kind of taste. There's some off smells that are not supposed to be there that are just kind of part of the process. You'll find them in these light beers.
Yeah, I'm not getting any of that.
No, as it warms up, I'm smelling it. So just kind of something that commonly will pick up from the yeast.
Well,
So
at any rate, I just want to say I'm glad we gave it a try either way.
absolutely.
Even if it didn't really suit either of us, I'm quite happy to try something new. You never know.
And here's for you marketing majors out there. Put a unicorn on your beer and we may actually buy it. Just saying.
Well, like I said, the less exciting the beer label has been lately, I've been noticing the trend that the beer is amazing inside. So,
Hey, check out our channel. Check out our other videos if you're just watching this one first time as well. We would love your support. Please like, subscribe, and share this with your friends. We love to hear your support. We also want to hear, what did you think? Have you had this beer before? If not, try it and let us know what you thought of it. We'd love to hear back from you guys. We're trying to build a beer community, one that we're connected to, that we can somehow connect with you guys. So keep that in mind.
any beer suggestions you have, post them in the comments.
Absolutely. Let us know what you want us to check out, and we will search it out.
We will. Cheers.
Cheers.